Are you willing to accept that there is no liability to Light Films or to anyone else in this room if you hurt yourself?
The third episode actually had the shortest cycle of filming, mainly because it's all set in one location, the warehouse. However, those 2 days we spent in the warehouse were actually two of the most tiring days I've done on a film set, namely because we had about 15 people there both days. We were doing a lot of action sequences that required a lot of coordination, and quite a few long shots in those sequences that required a lot of planning beforehand. And so by the end of those 2 days, we were completely shattered.
Hello, we're here today.
Hi, Paul!
Hi there. We're here today filming. We are here today at an industrial unit in Hoboken to film the climax of Aiden.
How clean is your business toilet? Given that you have a field day here. Pleasant.
Oh my god, that is disgusting. This is a remarkably unpleasant place.
And you hit the gun up? Yeah. No, with that.
But you can't take your hand in with the chain. Then tackle you back.
At one point, I accidentally punched Robin in the head, which was quite... It stopped us for about half an hour.
Sorry. Are you alright?
But other than that, it went pretty smoothly.
And tell me, Robin, what exactly is this achieving?
Just practicing for fight.
Quite a few people have asked how we got the warehouse and several other locations that we used for the film. And a similar answer to that is we asked around. Specifically for the warehouse, we were very privileged that Robin, who plays Aiden's dad, actually is a property developer, and so he owns a lot of locations, including the warehouse and also the place where we filmed the police station scene. But that doesn't mean to say that you can't get a cool location like the warehouse if you're making a film, because ultimately we could have probably got the warehouse or a similar location just by asking around friends of friends, parents of friends, and hoping that they had something available for us.
It takes someone unique to get successful. Someone who isn't who society wants them to be.
The main problem that came with filming the warehouse was actually the sound, and that's actually been a really big issue for the whole film, really. And we think that the final product is as best as we can do on our budget and our timescale, and it's certainly improved a lot from what we shot in the warehouse. The problem was the warehouse is a big open space, and that means there's a lot of echo that's banded around, and so when someone like Jacob is doing his lines, they're really echoed around the room and they're very difficult to hear because of the background noise that we had. We had people working outside the warehouse as well in different places, doing a lot of industrial work because it's in the middle of an industrial park, and also because of the echo, it made it very difficult to hear. And so what we do to deal with that is actually ADR, or additional dialogue recording, which you might know as dubbing, and this is typically what they do for music videos. So for a music video, they'll film the music video with the actor lip syncing the song, and then they'll put the song that's been recorded in the studio over the video. So what we did is we shot all the footage of people saying their lines, and then we got all the actors back to say their lines into a microphone again, and then we put that over the top.
I joined the agency 5 years ago. You had everything going for you. Aiden, I remember when you joined the agency 5 years ago. You had everything going for you. You were well educated. I remember when you first joined the agency 5 years ago. You had everything going for you. You were well educated.
Additional dialogue recording is just one part of post-production. So there are 3 stages of production. There's pre-production, where you write the script, you do the planning, the costumes, the location hunting. Then there's production, when you go out and shoot the film. And then there's post-production, where you edit your film, where you do the visual effects, and where you do sound editing. The first stage of post-production is actually cutting. For this we use a program called Sony Vegas Pro 12. Sony Vegas Pro 12 is a sort of mid-high consumer, low professional level program which allows us to cut videos together, so you can split them, cut angles together, as well as doing colour grading. That's what we do, and I've spoken about that in a previous video. And you can also put in text, credits, but it's mainly used for cutting the videos together, so choosing different angles, and that's the program we use for that. The second stage of post-production is visual effects, and for this we use a program called Adobe After Effects, and this allows us to sort of composite different layers together. So we get the footage in that we've shot. So for example, for the car explosion, we got in this blank plate of a fence, and then we use a plug-in program called Action Essentials 2, which gives you a load of explosions, other muzzle flashes. That's where all the fire on the front of the gun comes from in that package, as well as smoke effects and bullet hits. So what we do with that is we take in the explosion, we remove the background, and then we put it on top and then mask out, which means cutting out, sort of cropping out where the fence is, so the explosion is only above the fence. And Action Essentials 2 gives you sort of quite a few explosion options, so we use the one that is most effective to the environment. Action Essentials 2 is obviously also used for the gunshots in the film, so in the warehouse every time there's a gunshot on the front of a gun, muzzle flash, that is from Action Essentials 2, and that's literally just a frame and you mask it on. The other thing you need to do with that is add atmospheric lighting. So when you shoot a gun, if there's a muzzle flash, there's obviously going to be a light from the flame on the front of the gun somewhere else, and so we mask in patches of white light from the gun on a nearby surface just to make it a bit more three-dimensional.
Rob, how would you describe audio editing in the spectrum of like what the best part of making the film is? Where is audio editing in that?
It's like a 2
2 out of
10.
out of 10.
It's slightly below going to the toilet in the warehouse.
The final stage of post-production is sound design, and this is a long, complicated process, and it's actually the reason that Aiden took so long to come out, 9 months. So filming itself, we maybe did in, I think, under 20 days, not in a row, but over a couple of months. But sound design took the most amount of time because, as I said, we had to do ADR for all of the main cast and several other cast members.
Why the hell would you do that, George?
But then we also had the issue of sound effects and music, and that also takes a while to put together. So for sound effects, we actually downloaded a few free sound effects off the internet, mainly for gunshots that obviously we couldn't replicate ourselves. But there aren't many good quality punches on the internet, and so what we had to do was punch ourselves in front of a microphone to get that kind of sound effect. Finally, we take all the visual effects shots, all the sound effects and all the music into Sony Vegas. We compile it, several tracks, and I think the final episode of Aiden had something like 20 tracks, about 5 tracks of video and 15 tracks of audio, which, if you know Sony Vegas, is actually a lot of tracks, and that's why it took so long. Is because of the amount of levels of sound design that we had going on, especially in the third episode of Aiden, where the sound design was most complicated. Overall, though, we are very proud of what we created, and over the past couple of weeks, we've been really grateful for all the support that we've received from you guys. At home, liking and favouriting and commenting on the video, and also, obviously, at our respective schools. Thank you, everyone who supported the video, and you can also subscribe to our channel. Last week we actually started filming our next video, which is a road safety video, and that will be out at some point when we've worked on that, and that is going to be really great. So make sure you subscribe to our channel. Go and watch Aiden again if you want to, and if you haven't seen it, there's a playlist, and that will be down in the description below. And you can watch all 40 minutes through. And if you have got any more questions that we haven't answered in this video, leave them down in the comments below and we will do our best to answer them. So thanks once again for watching, and we will see you next time.